All right, folks, we are up in the sky. We are on Hooker's Push. I like Hooker's Push. It, other than the Union spawn being so far away, it's a pretty good map. Anyways, this is a Union attacking map. We are over top of Miller's Cornfield. If you're unfamiliar with the map, there is a Union battery there, a Union battery there, and then there are 3 CSA batteries. There's a little tiny one. 2 guns. You can kind of see the caissons in the far off distance. You see where that cannon just shot. And then there is a battery near the tree at Hagerstown. Turnpike, that's Pogue. You see the, yeah, there we go. It's a nice shot coming out of there. And then there's Brockenborough back there on top of that ridge. So we'll go to all of those. For officers, I have to confess, I actually don't know too many of these. So Duke I've actually seen lead, and he did a fine job the several times I saw him lead, so we'll keep an eye out for him. Oilman, I seem to remember him, and I think that he did well. There are some other common names, but I haven't always seen them lead a whole bunch in pubs, so I don't know. I guess we're all in for a treat in some way, but we'll try to get those officers unmuted, and we'll get moved in here. So what we see now, are these the... they are not. I thought maybe the Sharps Company had gone up first. Now there... Wait a minute. There are some greens in there. And you can see that the CSA is back there. So, yeah, Duke is leading the sharpshooters, and it's a smaller company. It's how the game tries to balance it. It means that the attacking Union only have 3 flags against the CSA, who will have 4. Due to the distance from spawn, the Union never really wants to clump up. What the Union is doing right now is they're near the boundary. So the boundary is here. And they'll frequently try to garrison those rocks coming out of that corn. What they do from there, they have some options. So we're going to see how this works out. I have fairly low expectations, but we'll try to show you how this... So at the risk of missing too much, and this is kind of why this one is a bit odd, Union has just capped early, which is pretty normal. It's weird because Strat Sketch kind of shows this upside down. But what we saw was the Union coming out of spawn, going through Miller's, and then kind of pushing up to the right here. When they come out of the corn, they can send other groups up to cap the point here, and then force the CSA to come forward. It's a really good conservative strategy, because what it means is that the Union can hang out near the corn. If they get pressed hard by the CSA, they can jump back into it, and they don't have to risk losing those flags. CSA can push up to the corn, but usually not too much further. So that's the theory of how all this plays out, and again, it is weird because Strat Sketch is frequently kind of upside down. So again, we're on that easternmost boundary, or we're towards the easternmost boundary. We're looking forward through to cap. Because they capped so early, there's going to be the long timer. This is a pretty ambitious push from the Union. I guess they feel pretty confident they can push right up. They did... Yeah, they got down one of the CSA's flags, so they've tied it up at 3 apiece, and when they do that, they can move up to this position. And I'm not too sure what the CSA's plan is here. So again, for our Union companies, we have one. This is frequently where the CSA likes to camp, or actually, I guess, we're a little bit advanced of that. We have cap rocks. Ooh, we just missed that explosion. Cap rocks are back there. The Union is far up, and so they do need to be careful, because when you are this far up, you can get surrounded. I know that this is all really brilliant tactical stuff, I'm telling you. But that's the CSA looking back at Battery Jordan, the two guns. You can see the one gun under the tree back there. Got to get the sun out of our eyes. He is correct about all that. This group, and we'll find out, we should take something here from the CSA's perspective. Led by Force Gump, it's, yeah, it's definitely on the more medium size of things. CSA is going in for a charge here. While we know there's another CSA group down, and Forest Group is a bit far back to be able to help with this, but the CSA is bringing 2 flags in. Okay, there's nothing real going on over here. Where is that 3rd Union group?
Man, our infantry needs to hold. They cannot fall back.
There it is. Yeah, if that Union company has enough people alive, they need to bring that up, and they need to try to contest this and make this a bloody endeavor here. I think some of those Union are going to die out of line for nothing. CSA might give them those tickets back by Rambo charging them with their clubs out, right? You're going to kill a dude in skirmishing. Nope, you're not even going to do that. You're just going to die out of line. Yet again, why would you ever do that? This is a little bit of a hack, so I hope I don't get in trouble. The pointy sticks that these guys are holding, they also shoot bullets, and sometimes that's a more effective way of killing people rather than spending your time running while they reload and shoot, and then they probably stab you with a bayonet because all you have is a club. So the Union can still hold cap.
Just as long as we're still in the cap zone, Chad.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So as long as they're near cap, they can at least contest it.
Right here. Keep the nice skirmish order.
Oh,
On the outside of the hill.
oh, but the rest of the company ran off.
As long as we
This
stay in the
group,
cap zone.
I think they could stay up, but I guess they're looking for cap weight. And my guess is the CSA doesn't have too much if Forrest is still over there, not on cap. That means that they don't have the cap weight to easily force the Union off. This would be a good time to do it. CSA is, I guess that flag despawned, so they're going to be pretty soon. They're going to be back to 4 flags.
All right. We should-
Oh, that's where they lost
There's
it.
a fucking
Okay.
flag over there.
Yes, all this and more. It did go a bit far. I don't know what CSA must be shooting at this group. So we'll go on board with this group and see how close those shots hit. I will say for Union Arty, this is actually a nice spot for the CSA to be. If you can get a peek over the corn, that would be the way to do it. So if you want some reference, well, you probably shouldn't need that much, but the CSA is holding out. It looks like they're on the point of contention, and that's pretty close to it. But they're holding off a bit back, and again, the actual cap point is different sometimes than what it shows on the map. It's larger than you would think. But all in all, it's not going terribly. For the Union, that is. They've been able to put the cap weight back on, so they're going to force the CSA to stand here longer.
Lot them up, top of the hill, boys.
I think the CSA has a... Oh, wait, that might be an Arty officer. So if that's an infantry officer, that is terrible for helping your group, helping the rest of the CSA take back cap. Because your friendlies need all the cap weight they can get to end this. I mean, it's a long counterattack, and so you could do it later, but unless there's a good reason to. And as the defenders, there's usually not. If you can get the attackers to cap early, maybe after they've accrued a bit of a ticket advantage, you want to move for the recap. Let's see, we got 237. And the Union's at a bit of a disadvantage, 7. So you know, that 7-man disadvantage, CSA already has, what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
Pull back a little bit. Pull back. Let's pull back.
Compared to the Union with 11. Like, the CSA has probably a 10-man infantry advantage, and it should have 1 extra flag respawning people. So I don't know why they're not pressing this cap and just making this very bloody, making the Union flags basically just line up with people on them. While spreading them out over 4 flags. I don't quite understand what this is. I don't even know if this group is fully on cap. I think sometimes, I don't know if you get it here or if you have to like come out to here. It's been a moment since I've done this, but this is what the Union is doing is generally what I tend to recommend. I think from this set of rocks to that set of rocks, and then play cap and hold, and then shoot it out. And know that the CSA should try to want to take it back pretty quickly. And you got to be prepared to kite them backwards. But I see that group over there. I don't know if that's still Forrest group or another. But I don't understand this as an approach. I don't know what the comms are like or what the plan is. This might be all part of a plan more brilliant than my simple mind can fathom. But I'd love to see the evidence of that. Is there a CSA group that doesn't have an officer? No, they all do. Maybe some were just lined up on top of each other. So you got 2 back here in the defilade. So again, that's the one CSA battery. That's the bigger one in Brockenbrough. You have 2 back here in this nice defilade behind those cap rocks. And I guess they're gonna try to make it. They're gonna start creeping. So there's a bit of a ridge here that'll screen you up to a certain point. I don't know what that was, but yeah, CSA is behind by a little bit when it comes to tickets. But the CSA should probably have to pay a ticket toll in order to get this one back. If they are able to go back and the Union's higher, then they'll go up to the Union.
Yeah, we see him.
The Union ticket level. But the actual tickets is still whatever that level is for the defenders. But yeah, the Union's got to be happy with this because they capped so early, right? 38 minutes on the black. Now, I don't know what this is. With that group pulling off, they can't easily add cap weight, and now you have another Union group that's just going to run up and die. I don't know, mostly out of line? What am I not seeing here? I don't know what the CSA is doing. I don't know. Remember, complicated strategies are not necessarily better than simple ones. And I think the Union's simple strategy here is force the CSA to win this. I don't know if the CSA has too many 42s and they can't do the damage at range, or they don't believe they can. Or this is some sort of... I don't know. Some sort of new approach with which I am unfamiliar and I'm about to become familiar. I mean, certainly this group of CSA must feel like they have pretty good shots shooting with their bayonets in case they're snuck up on. They're in open field. All right, CSA is done maneuvering. They spent about, I don't know, a good 90 seconds there running around off cap. I think they're on cap now. Wait, no. Well, I can't tell up in spectator mode. They might be a little far off cap. I guess we'll know pretty soon. The Union doesn't have many who are near cap. Right? We see... Wow. That was almost friendly fired. And that was enemy fired into the Union. Oh my gosh. Those sharps are just getting wrecked. I think the CSA should start having the cap weight to pull this one back. If they get on cap. But they are losing the ticket trade, but they have time. 8 minutes is fine. They're not going to get the Union to last stand in the counterattack. Huh. This group has no flag. Huh.
And that's a rainbow coming across the field. Rainbow coming across the field.
Well, when you kill him, you will have fewer tickets, but you don't really have anything. There's nothing you can do about it. You got to kill him. But it just means fewer tickets for you to go back with as the defenders. And again, for the attackers, why you want to... I don't understand this. Usually Hooker's push is... it's got a lot more, unless they're just trying to confuse the Union.
We're gonna
And maybe they're going to try to join up with Forrest and just do like a big ol', I guess for the CSA, right hook, where they think they're going to come around, get to these rocks, force the Union to come to them, shoot them off, and then run up to cap. it's in idea, but the thing is, the Union are all close enough to each other that if you try that, they're going to see it, they're going to shoot you, they should respond to it. Those officers have worked well enough, and I also see that they have some people, whether they're actually doing the NCO role, for all intents and purposes, they're doing the NCO role, and now this group up here that does not have a flag looks like they're going to get charged out. I mean, it doesn't really matter for the CSA. That doesn't. But we'll see if this group on cap now knows to run away, or if they're gonna make their stand here. This can be terrible for the Union because this group is too small to deal with this, and they're gonna have to infinitely run back as they get wiped. All right. Skynet knows what to do. I mean, they can bleed them and give friendlies time to come up, but that flag, it doesn't have enough to keep people in formation. I can't imagine the Union wanted a melee here. I'll say the Union tanked that charge a lot better than I thought they were going to. Oh, and then the CSA, they have another company that's out there that is often Battery Pogue, where they desperately need those men in those respawns here on cap. That looked like more friendly fire from Union Artie, so good job, Artie. I don't know that... yeah, I think if CSA counterattacks, I think they're going to get this recap here. I mean, I understand the Union's just trying to keep constant pressure on them, but for 4.5 minutes, the CSA is just standing there reloading, getting their kits. They're not getting artied. Man, I agree with this Gardner fella. He gets it. Well, at least I'm on the same wavelength. But those flags, yeah, they need to start making their exit towards the corn, or at least there's a defilade I'm looking at right now behind those rocks. The CSA can come up there, so you got to be careful, but... the Union are going to lose tickets and pulling back, but that just means they're going to give the CSA fewer. So this is actually, usually you don't want to die at a line. I think up to a certain point you can do it, because when the CSA recaps this, it'll be, what, 38 minutes on the black timer, and they'll only be able to lose one more morale stage before they go breaking, and then they can't abandon the point. And then the Union can kind of threaten cap point as they want, shoot it out, pull in and pull out. The Union should have a ton of initiative. I'm guessing the CSA is just getting their loads and getting ready to volley here. And that was another Union Artie shot that almost team killed. Yep. Yeah, keep the pressure on the cap. There's no reason not to, right? I guess the only reason you wouldn't is because you want to get your full strength for when the CSA does recap. You want to be able to start plinking their true tickets away.
Every single man in the cap zone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is one where Union would just be better off without artillery. I mean, you had a numerical disadvantage. Your Artie has been T-killing or just missing their shots most of the round, and you just need cap weight. I am amazed. Okay, well now you got two different plans. That's never a good sight. Alright, well, you know what? It is good even if it wasn't the optimal call. Why is the CSA leaving cap? I guess they feel they have enough cap weight and they can just go with it? I do not know, man. I mean, yeah, we see that, but I think that's that small group that was often Battery Pogue. And I guess they're... Oh, they're down here and they're shooting? I mean... Alright. Yeah, it's true. The CSA can make it a little ways into the cornfield. And now... Oh, they already recapped. I missed that part. So, I mean, they're at even tickets, but because the attacker has more... Actually, I think the Union's down slightly. You would assume in a prolonged shootout... Because the tickets have more... The tickets have more attackers. How about the attackers have more tickets? They should be able to soften it up. And there's a Union Artie shot hitting Pretty much in the right spot, although I don't think there were any CSA sitting around waiting for that one. So, yeah, we're kind of back to where we started this one. Oh, almost 20 minutes ago where we started out on this side. But I think that the Union's playing this one right. I'm not sure why the CSA took so long to recap there, but maybe there's a way to throttle there and the Union's tickets enough that when they recap at this level, they think that they have a good chance to force a good final push, last stand. Not too sure. So the Union now is full pushing on their left. That was a shot. CSA is going to come over. Yeah, you just got to be careful that the CSA doesn't pull back. You see, there is that CSA group. Is that a CSA flag behind the Union? Yep, it was. And I don't know. So I guess there's only 2 Union companies over. As long as they know when they need to cut it back here, it should be all right. And this is just terrible for the CSA. I mean, it was cute while it worked, but you have to understand your point was to harass, not dump your team's tickets. And in order to harass, you have to survive. So now it's back to 3 flat. Well, if the Union could keep any of theirs up, it does seem like theirs have been shot down repeatedly here, but yeah, Union's going to spread it out. That probably means they have several. I bet these guys are probably in formation, especially if you have people spawning in and moving behind them. It's probably fine. They should likely be in formation. Probably most are in formation. But there is an argument that if you have more tickets and you have slower respawns because you're down a flag, maybe it makes sense to stick around in skirmishing more so that fewer people die. The flag is less clogged up and those other things. But I think generally you want to be dying in formation. Alright, we'll switch things over to the CSA's perspective. Where did that gun go that we saw? The CSA is real thick back here. I don't know how good their angles are. But the Union can take these. You know, it's not a high-pressure shootout, but the Union can start moving up and pressing the point. Do they know yet what's going on their left?
They're capturing the point.
Yeah. So I guess the Union can cap from these rocks. Little did I know. Again, I said point is weird. Look at where... Wait a minute. Look at where the point tells us it is. But it looked like they were capping as they moved through here. And that's a current glitch we have. I think the Union can just stop there. Yep. And that's what they're doing. And so that's going to bring the CSA over here. Now, if the other Union know what's up, they should be pressing up from the backside. It looks like they're starting to get there. Right? It's kind of like a rubber band, right? You detect, you move. The Union wants to... I think you want to avoid any sort of hot contest where you lose your flag. And the CSA knows that that is exactly the case, and they want that flag. They're coming for it. All right. The flag bearer knows to get back. He's got something of an escort trailing him. All right. And the second wave for the CSA will finish that up. I don't know if that was great for the Union. They'll take... I mean, the CSA is on the verge of breaking, and it's pretty close to the Union. I think the CSA also has to be happy with how this is gone, all things considered, and I say that as the Union shows up on their doorstep. And now the CSA, likely out of shots, if they sent them into those Union, they now have to come back to the Union who are on the point, and they oh my goodness. I thought that was Union already again. That was an odd trail, right? It looked like it went that way. Maybe it was 2 different shots landing simultaneously, but I didn't see the trail from the other one. Yes. It's an authentic Civil War quote. I don't understand this for the life of me, but the Union's done well otherwise, so who am I to say it's wrong? But yeah, I mean, the CSA didn't have shots. Just stand there and shoot it out with them. This group was getting healthy. If it existed, it was getting healthy. That's one Union flag. Yeah, that's two Union flags. Those flags got to skedaddle.
Here we come!
That's true. That's true. I don't know. Okay, so the Union got that first flag back, and this is terrible for the Union. Yep, that is terrible. Okay, you're level 1, so maybe you are. There's a lot of level 1 glitches going on, but the Union's definitely going to lose a flag here. They may lose 2 because you never want your flag to be the action. Yep, they're going to lose 2. And so it's a good thing for the Union that they capped early, and now they need to understand that they need to hang back, wait for their flags to respawn. Then their flags have to run up from spawn. But they have a lot of time on the black timer. So that's their only saving grace. Otherwise, if they know what they're doing, yeah, maybe Union Arty can do a little plink plink. Yeah, that was poor flag management there at the end, and I don't understand that call to charge when you're winning a shootout and the other side doesn't have loads. You make them charge you, so you shoot them with your full loads rather than you give them up and you melee them and you give the side without loads time to reload and shoot you. But it all, you know, I would say that makes more sense from my perspective, but that should also be true at ground level. But anyways, you know, for both sides, they got to be, well, maybe not for the CSA because they're still almost a third of the way through breaking, but the Union's about 20% of the way through breaking, so a lot could happen. The Union could dump a mess of tickets if there are Rambo recovery efforts. I would say, yeah, the CSA is playing the smart. What you would do here if this flag was down, hey, you would probably get in this bush if I was the CSA and have like 2 or 3 of you, and then as the Union, wait for them to pick it up, because then the timer resets, and then shoot them. Kill them, do whatever. You'll kill them out of line, out of formation, whatever. And you'll keep that flag out of action, because when a unit's flag is out of action, particularly as the Union on Hooker's push, you have to come from all the way back there. So anyways, that's that. We'll check out Arty, because what else are you going to do when there's like a 4-minute run from spawn? Yeah, I mean, it's a cool spot and all. Some of the somebody cued me into a better Arty position that all my time playing Hooker's push Union Arty, actually it was very rare for the first few years, but there's a spot, I don't know if it's right here they're talking about, where you roll the guns from this battery up to this side. I think it's right here, and you can see that's the cap hill or the cap hump or whatever you want to call it. I don't think rolling them over here, although I guess somebody went with this position. We'll get down to sights level. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like you could stop outside and it would be just as fine. Pretty sure this is all out of me. You can't do anything that wild. So the one Union group with its flag up can shoot. The CSA could. Oh, they got this flag. The CSA. Okay, but the CSA let them get. Oh, that didn't get out. It was just a glitch, man. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there the CSA is doing with large numbers what I thought would have worked with a fewer people. Oh my goodness. We won't even look and see who that was, because that's every shot I take in War of Rights. It's the old 3-yard whiff. Yeah, this is the graphics glitch, which kind of in its own way looks neat, but yeah, the Union's probably dumping tickets here, but it doesn't look too bad. They're not behind, at least, and they have time to work their way out. This is actually a time when Union Arty could be of tremendous help, because the CSA is standing in a position where they can be shot, but it's not happening. We'll take a look and see who's running what guns where for the CSA. I don't think the Union really can develop a significant threat. So these are the guns from Battery Pogue. I don't like this position. I never really liked this position because the Union can come up out of that corn, come up the turnpike. They can cross the turnpike eventually and then come and get you. And I don't like any of that, right? Artie is a long-range weapon, so I don't want him to be close-range engagements. But I guess if you were worried about the other side getting Caprocks, I guess you could smack them with these pieces. Let's see. Is anybody in my favorite position? Yeah. Yeah. This is my favorite. This might be my favorite artillery position in the whole game because you can do it on Hagerstown as well. But even on this map, and I've done it pretty much right where this gentleman is, there is a lot you can whack with that gun. So obviously everything kind of in the left 2/3 you can hit. You can hit Caprocks. It's pretty sweet, yeah. And if they charge up the turnpike, you just run. But little do I know, there actually is some cap action. I don't know if this is to draw the CSA out while the Union try to get their flag. Union's just going to end up bleeding more tickets. At a certain point, you got to bite the bullet and just, well, oh, the CSA gave up on it. They gave up on it. Oh, man. Again, it seems like a silly little thing to people who don't understand the predicament the Union's in. But just keep those flags down. I dedicate a company to it. I think CSA is going to have a challenge here. So, who is this? So that's Duke's flag. So they're not going to be able to... Oh, they're charging in here. Yeah, you know, if the CSA can't shoot you while you're in the rocks, you can probably do this, and you're going to trade 50-50, more or less. I think the Union actually got away with a lot there. They basically got through that field cost-free. Now, the second line is going to shred you. So you probably just want to charge through, rally, get your reloads, but maybe they're going to try to push the CSA off point. I'm not sure about this one. But yeah, I think allowing the Union to get to rocks without really making them pay a blood price might be the end of the CSA, because what that allows you to do when you send that wave up is you send this next wave, and now when the CSA deals with that first wave, now Duke's group is... Alright, so they are here now. So now the full Union element is here. They're going to try to shoot with you, and those sharps, they reload quickly, and the Union's just going to look to shoot it out. Oh... I guess the Union doesn't... The Union actually was starting to cap, but now they're not. As some Union are trickling off point, I think they don't want to lose those flags again. And so they're hypersensitive. That makes sense. The Union's in a good spot. To put the CSA... Yeah, but if they get out of here... Now if all those people who spun in and are... we rubber banded. The servers may go down. Okay. It looks like the servers really might go down. We'd been lucky up until this point. I'd been lucky. A lot of other people have been crashing like crazy following update 199.
There's a lot of people.
I've already said it, so I can say it again. I hadn't crashed yet. But yeah, the CSA is on the doorstep of going last stand. The Union's got a little bit before they go final push. Again, Union already here would be so clutch. If they have their range sheets, if they had their range sheets and they just know where to hit for that clump, they could have ended it. But now the Union's going to probably play, hopefully for them, play keep away. The only salvation the CSA have is that the Union rush and attack, they lose multiple flags, and then they die a whole bunch out of line and go final push with no flags, and they have to run from spawn. That is a possibility. Much more so on this map than others. But I think the Union's generally, with the exception of that one episode of losing 2 flags for several minutes, I think they've been on the right page about what you do. But it's basically a half moon kind of motion around point. If point is there for the Union, right, you'll kind of play over to here, and then just think of it as like the letter C that goes around point for much of the map. If the CSA tries to turtle, you cap, pull them out, and you just keep that black timer nice and healthy until the CSA is deep into taking losses. Hopefully you're even or a little bit higher in tickets, and then you can just attrit them down through shooting or the occasional well-timed and well-positioned charge. And I think that group that came out of the or that group that went into the rocks did a very nice job of showing how you can use that positioning. And I think the CSA was just caught without loads. That charge worked so well. Because if that charge didn't work well and it got melted in the field, it would have been a huge ticket dump for the Union. They wouldn't have gotten in those back lines. They couldn't have pressured cap. It would have been a different story. But it's not one thing. It's several little things. Do we have all four? We have all 4 CSA flags here. So they eventually did all get on the same page and in the same place. I guess the Union feels like they want to go up and maybe pressure things a bit more. My view is if the shootout's working and okay, so that is the CSA's spawn wave. They also have a hike from spawn. I think that was just a little bit of an off angle. It was probably close for that CSA gun, but it just had to be a touch higher to rack those rocks and probably get a bunch of kills. But that's the CSA spawn wave, which we did. That was nicely done. Yeah, that was right on that rock. But the CSA spawn wave comes from way back. Oh, the Union is tricky. I didn't even see. I looked away for a second, I swear, and that's what happened.
Keep it. Good point. Boys, you better get you some kills before the game ends. Oh my Jesus Christ! Oh my God! I was just about to congratulate you, Blissys, on success.